All right, everybody, here. Little information. My name is Willie Oits Smith Jr. I'm the eldest son of Willie and Lucille Smith. I was born and raised in Chicago. I was born in 1951. I'm a Vietnam era veteran. I've lived in Minnesota and in the state of Arizona and in the state of Wisconsin and in Illinois the majority of my life. I've seen a lot of this country and I've seen a little bit of the world. What I want to tell you now is something that I've noted as do not feed the beast. What I mean by do not feed the beast, what's been taking place here in 2020 has been practiced a long time ago, and they tweaked it and they know how to do it very well. When we had the riots in Minnesota, New York, Chicago, Atlanta, no, they didn't bust people in. They didn't bust in a whole lot of people. You don't need to bust in a whole lot of people. All you need is a handful of people to get into a crowd and do something to start an issue and cause chaos. The point of the chaos is to take your attention and your focus off the reason you are actually there. So that when the media is reporting, it's not reporting what caused you to be upset and why you initially started your protest. It's to take the attention off that and divert it to something that was never supposed to happen and never should have happened, because this is not who you are. But they have to portray you as this in order to be able to do what they want to do, and that's feeding the beast. You have to not feed the beast. If you don't feed it, it will starve. What the beast needs, you can keep them from having. The first thing you need to do is you need to change what's in your heart, how you feel. Why would you want to hate somebody you don't know? Why would you want to do harm against somebody you don't know? Why would you not want to communicate with this person and find out what they're thinking, what they go through? Because quiet is kept, everybody. There's a lot of white people in this country that don't have jack. They have even less than a lot of black people. They don't have a whole lot. But you don't get to see this, and you don't get to know that, because they don't want you to communicate with them. They want to keep us separated so we cannot communicate. The next thing you need to learn how to do is to take a real look at yourself. Look at yourself and decide on who you are, really are, and who you want to be. And make that adjustment to yourself so that you can improve who you are as a human being, because you have the right to do this. The only thing that you have to do is say, I want to be better. I can be better. And the third thing is look for beauty instead of ugly. Try to find the good in everything you can and not the bad. We know there's bad out here, and there's nothing we can do about it. But we got to not feed the beast. And what the beast feeds on is fear, lies, hate, mistrust, greed, envy, jealousy. These are the foods that the beast needs to survive. It eats it up. It needs that. If we starve it, it's got nothing to eat, and it will go away, or at least go lay in a corner and behave. To give you an example of what the beast will do when you don't feed it in order to get the food he wants. He will create the situation so that he can get it. I will give you 3 dates and 3 names just to start out with. John F. Kennedy, 35th president, assassinated 11/22/63 for trying to bring the country together to do something better. Martin Luther King, assassinated April 4th, 68. Peaceful protester, people sicking dogs, throwing bottles, water, names, refusing to let people sit on a bus. And if you sat on a bus, you had to give up your seat to somebody white. Didn't matter. But he was protesting peacefully. And they had crowds out throwing bottles, sticks. They lynched people. We're talking lynching people who were trying to do what was right. 2 months later, Robert Kennedy, assassinated for trying to do what his brother and what Martin Luther King had done. Following that, Malcolm X. Okay, listen, people. This was done systematically to get people angry, upset, so that you would go out and do what most people did. Yes, we did riot. But we were tearing up our own communities. We were hurting innocent people. We were attacking the wrong people. We weren't attacking the beast. We were attacking the people who were trying to help us to a certain degree, believed in us, but they couldn't speak up because they were afraid to. They didn't care what their neighbors thought. They worried about what their other family members were going to say. They knew they would be isolated, segregated against if they spoke up for what was right. And these are people who go to church every Sunday and pray to God every Sunday and say that they believe in liberty and justice for all, and say that they believe in the United States of America. Now, we're talking united. Now, united means everybody's together. Everybody. Not true. Not real. We've seen that. 1968, August 25th through the 29th, the Democratic Convention in Chicago. I was there. I was part of watching this. I was there to see this. The Chicago 7 were just a group of people who were against the systematic racism of America and protesting what they felt was an unjust war, that we really had no justifiable reason to be there. They were put on trial for inciting a riot and conspiracy against the United States. Muhammad Ali said, I can't go to war because of my religion, and they restructured to try to take him. And when he didn't go, they stripped him of his title and everything else. I was talking to somebody who told me, well, I don't know why he couldn't go. Elvis Presley went. And I laughed. I laughed. I had to laugh. I said, yeah, Elvis Presley did go. But all he did was go and dance and sing for the troops. He didn't go into a war zone with a helmet and fight. Kennedy did. Kennedy went into the war and actually fought. Elvis Presley didn't go into war and fight. All he did was sing and dance for the troops. That was it. And everybody made it sound like he was this great hero. That is not true. But we cannot live lies. And that's what this is all about, is trying not to live lies. 1969, Chicago. Fred Hampton, 21. Mark Clark, 22. Were killed when the Chicago Police Department basically attacked them in their apartment in the city of Chicago. These are Black Panthers. You know why they were attacked? I can tell you because I was there. I didn't see the attack, but I know why they were there. They came to Chicago to tell all of us street gang members to stop fighting with each other, to quit killing each other, to band together to protect our neighborhoods from police brutality, and to help strengthen our neighborhoods and build it through education, character, and that we could do this if we would work together. But in order to do this, we had to work together. And the beast said, no, we can't have this. So they funneled money into one of the gang organizations to keep us fighting with each other. They made sure that we were not going to get together and come together to have the peace that we needed. Because to be honest with you, if all the gangs in Chicago had united back then, we would have owned that city. Not through terrorism, not through fear, not through brutality, just in sheer number and volume alone, we could have been doing better for our schools, our communities, everything. But we did not listen. I can't say we, because I wasn't part of that group. I did listen. I heard one of our leaders here in Minnesota say the other day that we failed our young people. We didn't fail them. We gave them every opportunity we could. We fought and died, and a lot of other people fought and died for them to have these opportunities, black and white, for them to have the opportunities. They just didn't take them. They just didn't listen. They were hard-headed like we were. But we did learn. We did listen. We did try. But they got distracted. How many people remember the movie Superfly? I remember that. I remember I came home on leave and went out to the club one night, and I must have counted, I don't know, maybe 50 or 60 people running around with a little Coke spoon around their neck. You know, everybody thinking they cool instead of thinking about what was happening, instead of focusing on what our leaders was trying to get us to focus on. We kept saying the government is not doing this for us. The government is not doing that for us. We didn't get our 40 acres and a mule. Okay? Pardon my language. They can take that 40 acres and a mule and shove it as far up as they can get it. Okay? The one person who put it right was James Brown, when he said, I don't want you to give me nothing. Just open up the door and let me get it for myself. Give me the opportunity. Give me that chance at the American dream like everybody else has. Give me that same right, that same opportunity. Give it to me fairly. No. Knee on the neck. Not going to be fair. When Nixon decided to escalate the situation in Vietnam, it was actually a police action. And he escalated it into a war. And you had a lot of young white people in America who said, no, this is not right. We don't want to fight. We think this is unjust. We will not do this. And their entire country America, as they like to call it, the moms and fathers of these young men and women who said, no, this is wrong, decided to kick their children out, to turn on them. They called them hippies, degenerates. If you had long hair and you were white and you went in to try to get a job, no way they're going to give it to you. Isn't that discrimination? I think that's discrimination. Oh, you want a job here, you got to cut your hair. You got to do what I want you to do. You got to step in line. You got to what? I mean, like goose step maybe? I don't know. I'm just asking. You had the qualifications to do the job, but they don't like the way you look, so you got to cut your hair. If you don't cut your hair, you can't get the job. If you speak out for what you feel is right, you can't get the job. When they came up with affirmative action, it was so everybody would be on an equal playing field. Right? Wrong. Okay? This is how they pulled this one off. Affirmative action means you have to hire somebody of an ethnic background that's qualified to do that job. So how do you get around that? Well, you got the women's liberation movement going on at the same time. Women were getting their rights and wanting them. Rightfully so. They needed to have them. At one time, a woman couldn't even vote in this country, let alone have anything. Okay? If she wanted to get an education to become a doctor or a contractor or something like that, oh my God, heaven forbid. You think you a man. What do you know? This is how they treated people. Not, they weren't going to let black women do it anyway. I'm talking about the white female population that wanted to achieve, grow, that made a movement so that they could have an opportunity to do something. See, we tend to look at discrimination in black and white because that's all they want you to see it in. They don't want you to see it for what it really is. It's the beast. And he needs all those things I highlighted: fear, lies, hate, mistrust, greed, envy, jealousy. He needs those things. And he makes a constant effort to insert this into our lives so that he can remain in the control that he wants to have. And we cannot allow this. This is our chance, people. This is our chance to do something about this. They went and sent troops, National Guard, to a university campus in Ohio called Kent State University. These kids were protesting the war. Yeah, they had a riot. Wasn't too bad of a riot, but they had one. They wanted the soldiers off their campus. 4 of those kids died in the process of making that happen. They died for the right to say, we don't agree with what you're doing. We don't agree that it's right. The Black Panther Party was founded in 1966 in Oakland, California, for the purpose of black people taking responsibility for their neighborhoods, their communities, protecting themselves, and providing for themselves. They shut them down. They called them a gang, thugs, and everything else. But I would like to point out that the Ku Klux Klan, the neo-Nazi party, the white supremacists are not considered subversive organizations. They are not considered subversive organizations now. So tell me what they are if they're not a subversive organization. I ask this question many a times and I get no answer. They say they love America. That's why they do what they do. Well, which America do you love? I've heard them say, we need more white people. We need more white children born. Why? Because somewhere in their head, in the beast's head, in his mind, he has this fear that there's going to be too many Mexicans or too many blacks or too many Indians or too many people of color in the country, and they won't be in power anymore. They're not in power now. People, do you realize the white population in America, those who say they are the majority, they are not. They are not the majority. They want you to believe they're the majority, but they are not. But what they want is for those of us to think they are, so that the white population that understands what is wrong and know what is wrong and want to join with us to do what is right, they want us to do stuff to alienate them, to keep them from being part of what truly should be an American people movement. Not just a black movement, not just a women's liberation movement, not just a Hmong Mexican Jewish movement, but a collective people, human being movement to make this country what we truly want it to be. We can do that. But in order to do that, we have to not feed the beast. We have to not feed the beast. We can't hate. We can't mistrust. We must communicate. We must talk to each other. We must check ourselves and make sure that we know who we are and who we want to be. And get out and get the information. Find out who's running for whatever office. Make sure that you're registered to vote. Make sure that everybody you know that's of voting age has registered to vote and can be counted and can be heard. Make sure that when you go back to school, students, that you concentrate on your studies. Reach for your goals. Go after your dreams. But do not lose focus of what this movement has to be right now. We have to prepare to really take hold of our country. Now, I don't know how many of you listen to a man named Rush Limbaugh. I'm going to end this segment with something I heard him say just the other day. I happened upon his show, and he was talking about all the great things that President Trump is supposedly doing. He made reference to Kent State like I was ordering a cup of coffee at a restaurant and pushed it off. Look up Kent State, please. Oh, and while you're at it, May 31st, 1921, there's something known as the devastation of Black Wall Street. Took place in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was called the Greenwood District, a very thriving black community that was burnt down. 35 blocks, buildings, homes, 300 people killed, looted, understand me now, burnt, looted, destroyed. But this was done by white people. This was not done by black people. And it happened in 1921. And it's real. And most people my age, I know when I was growing up, it wasn't in my history books. I didn't find out about it until later in life. They did not teach me about that. They did teach me that my ancestors were enslaved and I have to bow down and all this. It's what they were trying to teach me, but I didn't listen. I spent part of my life fighting a war on two ends. And I'm sad about that, because I had to fight my own people to stay alive. So I'm dealing with systematic racism on one end and not understanding why my own people don't see what I see on the other. And I angered a lot of people when I said that a lot of people with black skin are not necessarily black to me. And it's not meant to be an insult. I just want everybody to know that I don't look at me as a black man or look at other black people and say they are black because I'm looking at the color of their skin. I have to talk to them and realize what the state of their mind is. The chains are off our bodies, but I learned that the chains are still on a lot of our minds. We got to shake those chains. We got to start seeing ourselves for who we are. I have 4 beautiful children, 2 princes, 2 princesses. I'm watching my grandchildren grow. I have some more princes and some more princesses coming up. And when I'm gone, I am sure that they're going to be fine, because I know where their heads and hearts are. We have an opportunity here to make America what we truly want it to be. We need to take that opportunity now. I would like to thank you all for giving me this time to talk to you. And I want you to be prepared for what's to come. Because what he said was that if the Democrats win the presidential election, that there was going to be whole-scale burning, looting, and riots in America. Now, why would a man say something like that? Unless he was trying to feed the beast to encourage it. So please, take my initial statement, take it to heart. If you want to use it for a rallying cry, you can do that. Do not feed the beast. If this message gets to Chicago at all, you need to know that in Roseland, Illinois, there's an organization called Word First. It's a community organization that's community-based and is there to help fund and raise the lives of the people in that community. My sister, Elaine T. Sharp, is the founder. She's a good woman. She's God-fearing. She wants to do what's right. And I know she would appreciate hearing from you. Let her know how you stand. Let her know how you feel. Thank you, and God bless.